Welcome to District Command Central, your go-to source for the latest news and updates on the Washington Commanders. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a play. Dan Quinn's confirmation about Brian Robinson Jr.'s status with the Washington Commanders has ignited a mixture of resignation and frustration among the fan base, though it comes as little surprise to those who have followed the team's off-season developments closely. The Commanders have always operated under a philosophy that blends aggressive roster moves with a willingness to make tough decisions quickly, and Robinson's situation is a textbook example. Robinson, who once seemed poised to be a central figure in the Commanders' backfield, has now been officially excused from practice, signaling that his time in Washington is effectively over. Fans who had held on to hope for a last-minute turnaround must now confront the reality that the team's priorities have shifted decisively. The statement from Quinn was brief but pointed, emphasizing that updates on Robinson's future would be shared soon, but strongly implying that the end of his tenure is imminent. This move underscores the ruthless pragmatism with which the Commanders are approaching roster management under Adam Peters. Robinson's initial projection as the lead back in the Commanders' 2025 offense highlighted the stark contrast between expectation and reality that now defines his tenure. Offensive coordinator Cliff Kingsbury's praise of Robinson's renewed focus earlier in the offseason created optimism among fans and commentators alike, as it suggested the running back had not only the physical tools but also the mindset to thrive. Peters' statements about investments in the offensive line only heightened these expectations, promising a solid foundation for Robinson to succeed. Yet, despite these seemingly favorable conditions, the strategic decisions made by the front office have rendered those projections moot. The juxtaposition of Robinson's potential with the Commanders' decisiveness in moving forward without him highlights a recurring theme in professional sports. Talent and effort do not always guarantee security. For Robinson, the dream of leading the backfield has now shifted from a near certainty to a possibility elsewhere in the league. The broader implications for the Commanders' offensive strategy are profound, as they must now recalibrate around alternative options. Trade rumors surrounding Robinson intensified the perception that his role in Washington was tenuous at best. Reports indicated that the Commanders were actively gauging interest from other teams, signaling that the organization was preparing for multiple scenarios regarding his future. In parallel, the decision to hold Robinson out of the preseason matchup against the Cincinnati Bengals sent a strong visual message to fans and analysts alike. The team is serious about moving on. The absence of a player in such a high-profile game rarely goes unnoticed, and in this case, it served as a clear indication that Robinson's tenure in Washington had reached a critical juncture. Fans who had hoped for a last-minute miracle were forced to reconcile with the reality that the team's front office has already committed to a new path. The narrative surrounding Robinson, from potential leader to expendable asset, reflects the merciless nature of roster management in the modern NFL. Wednesday's practice provided yet another glimpse into the unraveling of Robinson's role, as head coach Dan Quinn confirmed he had been excused from team activities. While the language used by Quinn was careful, it carried a weighty implication. Robinson's future in Washington is no longer a question of readiness or effort, but of strategic alignment with the team's evolving roster vision. By excusing Robinson from practice, the Commanders are not only signaling a short-term absence, but are also preparing the narrative for a potential release or trade. This decision underscores the transparency with which the organization is approaching its roster strategy, even if it creates discomfort among fans. The implications extend beyond the individual player, as it highlights how teams balance talent, salary considerations, and roster depth. Quinn's measured remarks, paired with Peters' aggressive approach, leave little room for misinterpretation. The Commanders are moving forward decisively. For the loyal supporters of Robinson, any hope for redemption or a late reprieve has been extinguished. The team has made it clear that he is not part of their immediate or long-term plans, signaling a finality that is difficult to reconcile emotionally with his contributions. The emergence of other running back options, including 7th-round rookie Ja'Cory Cross-Gamerett and the revitalized Chris Rodriguez Jr., provides the team with alternatives they view as both capable and more strategically aligned with their future. Peters' preference to extract value rather than let the situation linger reflects a broader organizational philosophy that prioritizes proactive solutions over sentimentality. This approach, while potentially jarring for fans, is consistent with a front office culture that emphasizes flexibility, speed, and tactical advantage. Robinson's exit is thus emblematic not only of his personal journey, but also of the Commanders' commitment to a clear, albeit sometimes harsh, roster strategy. As Robinson contemplates his next career move, the NFL landscape offers both opportunity and uncertainty. More physical running backs are always in demand, and his proven ability to absorb contact and gain yardage provides a valuable skill set for potential suitors. However, financial considerations, particularly his base salary exceeding $3.4 million, could present a barrier to immediate interest. Teams must weigh the cost against his proven production and potential fit within their offensive schemes, creating a complex negotiation environment. For Robinson, this period represents both challenge and opportunity, a chance to reset, demonstrate resilience, and seek a team that aligns with his abilities and ambitions. Regardless of the outcome, the trajectory of his career is entering a new chapter, one where adaptability, persistence, and market demand will define the next steps. The dynamics of free agency thus become pivotal in shaping his professional future. From the Commanders' perspective, the departure of Robinson is both a risk and a calculated gamble. The team is leaning on untested options, with Krosky Merritt and Rodriguez Jr. expected to fill the void. While these players have shown flashes of promise, they remain unproven in the high-pressure, competitive NFL environment, raising questions about immediate effectiveness and depth. Veteran presences such as Austin Ekeler and Jeremy McNichols provide some reassurance, but the loss of a physical, established back like Robinson introduces uncertainty. This gamble reflects the inherent tension in professional football between nurturing young talent and relying on proven contributors. Peters' decision to move forward without Robinson underscores a strategic belief that the combination of youth, potential, and financial flexibility outweighs the security of retaining a familiar player. The next few games will test this calculated approach rigorously. Robinson's career in Washington will be remembered for his resilience and contributions, even if they fell short of transformative. Overcoming early adversity, he became a reliable, if not spectacular, presence in the backfield, demonstrating commitment and professionalism throughout his tenure. Yet, in a league driven by elite performance and marginal advantages, being decent is often insufficient to secure long-term stability. Peters' philosophy emphasizes results and potential over past contributions, leaving little room for players who, despite dedication, fail to create consistently explosive plays. Robinson's journey highlights the harsh realities of professional sports, where effort, character, and loyalty are important but rarely sufficient to override strategic priorities. His departure, though disappointing for fans, is consistent with the pragmatic, sometimes ruthless, approach the Commanders employ in shaping their roster for sustained competitiveness. The Commanders' handling of Robinson is emblematic of broader trends in NFL roster management, where financial flexibility, potential upside, and strategic alignment often outweigh established performance. By excusing Robinson from practice and exploring trade possibilities, the organization demonstrates a commitment to proactive roster optimization. This approach requires difficult decisions, often at the expense of popular or emotionally resonant players, reinforcing the idea that loyalty and past contributions are secondary to forward-looking strategy. Robinson's exit, while regrettable on a personal level, is a necessary component of building a roster capable of adapting to injuries, salary cap constraints, and the evolving competitive landscape. The team's confidence in alternatives reflects their willingness to take calculated risks while maintaining flexibility, signaling a new era in the Commanders' operational philosophy. Ultimately, Brian Robinson Jr.'s departure represents a confluence of organizational philosophy, player performance, and strategic calculation. The Commanders have opted to prioritize potential, financial efficiency, and alignment with Peters' aggressive roster approach over maintaining continuity with an established contributor. For Robinson, this chapter closes with mixed emotions. Disappointment in leaving Washington, tempered by the opportunity to seek a fresh start elsewhere in the league. Fans, analysts, and teammates alike are left to assess both the immediate impact and the long-term implications of his absence, evaluating whether the gamble on younger, untested backs will yield dividends. The narrative surrounding Robinson encapsulates the unforgiving, yet fascinating, nature of professional football, where individual journeys intersect with organizational imperatives, shaping the constantly evolving landscape of the NFL and defining the legacy of both players and teams alike. If you're enjoying the coverage, make sure to smash that like button and drop a comment with your thoughts on the Commanders' latest moves. We want to hear from you. The sports world is buzzing with a headline that feels almost unreal. The Washington Commanders are reportedly ready to commit a jaw-dropping $750 million to keep Terry McLaurin under contract through 2030. Imagine that for a second, $750 million tied to a single player, a number so astronomical it makes every other NFL contract look like pocket change. Fans are already debating whether this is sheer genius, sheer madness, or something in between, and the speculation has spread like wildfire across social media platforms, sports forums, and casual conversations alike. Rumors claim that the deal isn't just a financial commitment. It's a statement, a declaration from the franchise that McLaurin is the centerpiece of their vision for nearly a decade. Analysts are dissecting every clause, imagining what it would mean for the salary cap, team chemistry, and the ripple effect on other star players who might now expect similar treatment, creating a frenzy of endless what-ifs in NFL circles. Sources whisper that the agreement, while officially unconfirmed, is already shaping the culture inside the locker room. Teammates are reportedly in awe, some skeptical, others quietly thrilled, as word of the contract leaks through informal channels. There's talk that McLaurin's agent orchestrated a deal with clauses so intricate they might set a new standard for superstar negotiations, blending performance incentives with long-term loyalty rewards. The rumor mill suggests that this contract goes beyond standard financials, possibly including perks like personal training facilities, travel accommodations, and even profit sharing for merchandise and endorsements tied directly to McLaurin's brand. Social media commentators are having a field day, predicting the chain reaction this could cause across the league. Star receivers from coast to coast now calculating what it would take to replicate such a deal. Meanwhile, fans in Washington are reportedly divided, some celebrating the bold vision of their franchise, others fearing the risks of putting all that financial weight on a single player whose career trajectory, as brilliant as it has been, is never guaranteed. The tension is tangible, the buzz palpable, as the city seems to collectively hold its breath for official confirmation. Insiders claim that part of the intrigue surrounding McLaurin's rumored megadeal stems from the timing. With the NFL season looming and draft strategies already in motion, Washington's move, if real, could be interpreted as a preemptive strike against free agency chaos. Competitors are allegedly re-evaluating their rosters, scouting talent pipelines, and speculating on whether their own stars might demand contracts that rival this staggering sum. Rumors suggest that McLaurin's marketability, leadership, and clutch performances in critical games were central to the franchise's willingness to push boundaries. Analysts have begun producing intricate salary cap models, projecting scenarios in which Washington navigates this financial labyrinth without sacrificing depth elsewhere. The murmurs of insiders hint that McLaurin's influence on the field may extend beyond statistics, acting as a magnet for future talent who want to play alongside him. Meanwhile, social chatter paints an almost cinematic picture, fans imagining McLaurin suited up, waving a flag of loyalty while the franchise cements itself as a bold, ambitious contender in a league known for cautious spending. The broader NFL community is reportedly reacting with a mix of disbelief and curiosity, dissecting every leaked figure as though it were a mystery novel. Commentators are comparing this alleged $750 million commitment to historical contracts, pointing out that the numbers dwarf deals that were once considered revolutionary. Rumors indicate that the Commanders' front office has prepared for a media storm, anticipating questions about cap space, backup talent, and potential backlash from other franchises whose stars might feel undervalued. Meanwhile, McLaurin's personal brand appears to be skyrocketing in anticipation of this announcement, with merchandise speculation, potential endorsements, and social media growth entering a new orbit. Fans across the country are imagining scenarios where his presence alone shifts game outcomes, attendance, and television ratings. Insider chatter suggests that every touchdown, every highlight reel catch, is now scrutinized with the shadow of this massive contract looming, and sports analysts are spinning out endless what-ifs and hypotheticals. In essence, the rumor has transformed from a mere contract negotiation into a cultural phenomenon, a swirling vortex of anticipation, awe, and debate among football enthusiasts everywhere. Some whispers suggest that the financial intricacies of McLaurin's contract are staggering not just in total value, but in structure. Reports indicate that incentives may be tied to team achievements, personal milestones, and even media appearances, creating a multi-layered compensation system that would make any accountant's head spin. Sources hint at clauses designed to reward loyalty while protecting the franchise in case of unforeseen injuries, blending risk management with generosity in ways previously unseen. The rumor mill further claims that McLaurin's legal team spent months negotiating protections that elevate him beyond a typical player, embedding rights that extend to image control, personal branding, and creative projects tied to his name. Fans online are dissecting each tidbit, speculating about whether such a contract could inspire a trend where elite receivers become near invincible within team structures. Meanwhile, skeptics argue that no single player is worth such a commitment, worrying about locker room dynamics, salary cap limitations, and the impact on future drafts. The intrigue continues to grow, fueled by every whispered detail leaking into the digital ether, as the NFL world collectively debates the sanity and brilliance of such a rumored decision. The rumor also carries a human story, according to sources close to the team. They suggest that McLaurin, known for his work ethic and humble demeanor, may have personally influenced the negotiation's trajectory, demonstrating an unusual combination of patience and ambition. Insiders claim that behind the scenes, McLaurin's relationships with coaches, teammates, and front office executives were pivotal in shaping the final terms, reinforcing a narrative that this deal is as much about personal trust as it is about financial numbers. Fans and analysts are reportedly captivated by the drama of loyalty meeting negotiation strategy, imagining the countless late-night meetings, phone calls, and whispered assurances that built the foundation for a contract of this magnitude. Social media speculation is relentless, with debates over whether McLaurin's decision to stay could redefine player-team loyalty in the NFL forever. Meanwhile, casual viewers are drawn into the narrative, experiencing the story not just as sports news, but as a saga of ambition, trust, and the pursuit of greatness, creating a spectacle that transcends the gridiron itself. Reports suggest that rival franchises are already feeling the tremors from this rumored deal, prompting strategic recalibrations across the league. Analysts claim that teams with young receivers are now rethinking their contracts, calculating the market value of talent like McLaurin and projecting potential bidding wars that could reshape NFL financial landscapes. The chatter extends to front office meetings, draft rooms, and even casual water cooler discussions, with speculation about who could realistically match or exceed Washington's audacious move. Fans are also speculating about long-term repercussions, imagining scenarios where multiple star players demand similar contracts, potentially triggering a cascade of megadeals that redefine the sport. Meanwhile, insiders whisper about the morale boost inside the Commanders' locker room, suggesting that having a superstar locked in for nearly a decade could foster team stability, inspire younger players, and strengthen the franchise's culture. Every rumor adds another layer, keeping the conversation alive, unpredictable, and deeply entertaining for sports enthusiasts worldwide. The financial magnitude of the rumored contract is sparking heated debates among economists, journalists, and football analysts alike. Reports suggest that discussions center not only on absolute numbers, but also on long-term economic strategy, marketing potential, and media rights implications. Insiders indicate that Washington may be using this deal as a signal, demonstrating their willingness to invest heavily in marquee talent, thereby positioning themselves as an attractive destination for other elite players. Social media reactions reportedly range from awestruck amazement to cautious skepticism, with some fans calculating hypothetical contract breakdowns while others focus on potential risks to team cohesion. Meanwhile, Analysts are reportedly exploring the implications of such a colossal deal on future league negotiations, collective bargaining agreements, and salary cap flexibility. The rumor, whether entirely accurate or partially exaggerated, has already injected new life into off-season discussions, transforming what might have been a routine negotiation into a viral phenomenon, dominating headlines, timelines, and coffee break chatter across the sports world. Leaked whispers hint that the contract could redefine the relationship between star players and franchises, creating a blueprint for the next era of NFL negotiations. Sources suggest that McLaurin's alleged deal might include unprecedented flexibility for personal projects, media appearances, and philanthropic efforts, blending professional excellence with personal branding in ways rarely seen in football. The rumor has fans imagining McLaurin as more than a player, perhaps a symbol, a franchise ambassador, and a living guarantee of commitment. Analysts speculate that this approach could inspire younger athletes to prioritize loyalty and team synergy in ways that were previously secondary to financial gain. Meanwhile, casual observers are captivated by the narrative tension, picturing boardroom strategy, agent maneuvers, and locker room whispers that ultimately culminate in a historic commitment. Whether the rumors prove true or remain fantastical, the story has already reshaped expectations, setting a stage where money, loyalty, talent, and spectacle collide in a whirlwind of anticipation and debate that shows no signs of slowing down. The social media frenzy surrounding McLaurin's rumored $750 million commitment is reportedly reaching fever pitch, with memes, fan art, and speculative reaction videos flooding platforms around the globe. Sources whisper that the hype is not limited to Washington or NFL diehards. Casual sports enthusiasts, pop culture commentators, and mainstream media outlets are all tuning in, amplifying every whisper and speculative calculation. Analysts suggest that the attention alone could generate marketing value that rivals the monetary sum of the contract, creating a meta-narrative where hype, rumor, and reality intertwine. Fans are reportedly dissecting every potential scenario, from how McLaurin's presence could change team dynamics to how rival franchises might respond in free agency. Meanwhile, insiders hint at a psychological impact. The morale boost, the expectation of greatness, and the pressure of living up to an unprecedented number. Every rumor shared online only fuels the speculation, making this story feel less like a negotiation and more like a living, breathing legend in real time. A spectacle unfolding across screens, comment sections, and conversation threads everywhere. Whispers indicate that the rumored deal could influence not only player contracts but also coaching strategies, front office decisions, and even fan engagement. Analysts speculate that locking in a superstar like McLaurin through 2030 might allow Washington to build a long-term strategy around him, creating continuity that rivals the short-term, gamble-heavy approaches seen elsewhere in the league. Fans are reportedly imagining stadium banners, legacy campaigns, and a renewed sense of hope for a franchise often mired in mediocrity, imagining McLaurin as a lodestar for an entire team and city. Meanwhile, sports economists are reportedly crunching numbers, exploring how this unprecedented contract could influence revenue sharing, sponsorship deals, and long-term franchise valuations. Social media chatter emphasizes not only the financial spectacle but the human story, a player, a city, and a team intertwined in a narrative of ambition, loyalty, and the pursuit of greatness. The rumor has already transformed from mere speculation into a cultural event, capturing imaginations and conversations across the NFL and beyond. Finally, the continued buzz suggests that, regardless of official confirmation, McLaurin's rumored $750 million deal has already achieved a level of legend. Sources whisper that the discussions surrounding it, boardroom negotiations, agent maneuvering, and fan speculation, have created a narrative that will endure in sports memory, shaping how players, franchises, and fans approach contracts for years to come. Analysts suggest that even the possibility of such a deal forces teams to reconsider strategy, priorities, and risk management, creating a ripple effect that extends far beyond Washington's locker room. Fans are reportedly creating their own what-if scenarios, imagining McLaurin's impact on games, rivalries, and even NFL history. Meanwhile, Insiders hint that the psychological effect of locking in a star may be just as valuable as the contract itself, fostering confidence, cohesion, and cultural identity within the team. In essence, the rumor has transcended its initial financial implications, evolving into a saga of loyalty, ambition, and spectacle that has captivated the sports world, turning every conversation into a mix of awe, debate, and irresistible curiosity. Thanks for tuning into District Command Central. Make sure to subscribe and follow us for all the Commanders news you need. Until next time, keep the faith and hail to the Commanders.